Hey guys, today we're going to talk about addition, subtraction, and complex fractions. Okay, so just like with adding and subtracting fractions, if you're adding and subtracting rational functions, it involves having a common denominator. Okay, to add or subtract rational functions with like denominators, you just simply add or subtract the numerators and put them over the denominator, just like you would when you're doing fractions. Okay. Now, so if I've got something like this, these have a common denominator, so I can go ahead and just add the numerators. 4 over 3x plus 5 over 3x is just 9 over 3x, which would reduce to 3 over x. Okay, here I've got 2x over x plus 3 plus 4 over x plus 3. I just add the numerators to x plus 4 over the denominators x plus 3. Can't really do anything to simplify that, so we're done. Okay, pretty simple there. Okay, now if they have unlike denominators, first we need to find the least common denominator of the original rational expressions and then rewrite it with common denominators. Okay, so for example, 7, let's do this. 7 over 6x plus 5 over 8x. Okay, so I'd like to get a common denominator. They both have an x. 24 would be a good common denominator. So I'm going to multiply this by 4 over 4. Multiply this by 3 over 3. Okay, so I'm going to get 28 over 24x plus 15 over 24x. Okay, now I've got a common denominator. I can just go ahead and add these, so that'd be what, 43 over 24x, and I can't really reduce that, so that's just my answer. Okay. So, let's have you pause the video and give this one a try and see what you come up with. And then jump back on and see if you get the same thing I do. Okay, so here I've got an x plus 3, here I've got an x plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this by x plus 2 over x plus 2, because that has a value of 1 and it doesn't change this at all. I'm going to multiply this by x minus 3 over x minus 3, because that's a value of 1. It doesn't change this at all. So I get 3 times x plus 2 minus 5 times x minus 3. All of that's going to be over x plus 2, x minus 3. Now, I would not multiply that out. I just leave it like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and distribute this in here and distribute this in here. So I'm going to get 3x plus 6 minus 5x plus 15. All of that is going to be over x plus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, and then I can combine my like terms. This is going to be negative 2x plus 21 over x plus 2, x minus 3. And I don't think I'm going to be able to cancel anything out if I factor. I can't factor anything out of here, so that's as far as it's going to go. Okay. Now, this is a complex fraction because it's fractions within fractions. These can take a bit of busy work. Okay? So, I need to get a common denominator for the numerator of this thing, which would be 4. So I would change this to, I'd multiply this by 2 over 2. And I'm going to get x plus 6 over 4. And now I'm going to multiply this by x over x, because this is 2 over 1, right? So I'm going to get 2x minus 3 over x. Now I've got a fraction divided by another fraction. So when I do that, this is the same thing as x plus 6 over 4 times x over 2x minus 3. And so this is going to be x squared plus 6x in the numerator, and it's going to be 8x minus 12 in the denominator. And I'm not going to be able, I mean, if I factored this, I would just get this over this and nothing would cancel. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'm done. Okay. So you might want to pause this and give this one a stab and see how you do on this one. It's a little bit tougher than some of them, but see how you do. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and the numerator looks good. The denominator, no, I got to add those together, so I need to get a common denominator. I'm going to have to multiply this by x plus 2 over x plus 2, and this by x over x. So I'm going to get 2 over x plus 2 on the top, and I'm going to get x plus 2x would be 3x plus 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. And the bottom's going to be x times x plus 2. Now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to invert this, or I'm sorry, not the top one. I'm going to invert the bottom one and multiply. That's 3x plus 4 on the bottom. Okay, and then what I can do is I got an x plus 2 in the denominator and in the numerator, so I can cancel that out. And I'm going to get 2x in the numerator, and I'm going to get 3x plus 4 in the denominator, and I can't go any further. So that one wasn't too bad. Some of these can have a lot of work. Okay, now how to solve an equation. This one, notice you're not just simplifying it, it equals something, it equals 16. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, I'm going to simplify this part right here. So I need to get a common denominator. I'm going to multiply this by x over x. I'm going to multiply this by x minus 1 over x minus 1. And the denominator, I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2. And so, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 3x squared minus 4x plus 4. So negative 4 times this is going to give me this. In the denominator, I'm going to have x times x minus 1. And that's all going to be over. This is going to be 2x in the denominator. And this is going to be 1 minus 2, which would be negative 1 in the numerator. And that's going to equal 16. Okay, now, I can do this a couple ways. I could multiply this on both sides, or I could invert this. This would be 3x squared minus 4x plus 4 over x times x minus 1. if I multiply both sides by negative 1 over 2x, I'm going to get negative 16 over 2x. That's going to be negative 8x. Wait, no it's not. It's going to be, let's see. Oops. Having issues here. Okay, so if I multiply both sides by this, I'm going to get negative 8 over x. Okay. Now this is just a proportion, so I can cross multiply. This should equal this, so I'm going to get 3x squared minus 8x, or minus 4x plus 4 times x should equal negative 8x times x minus 1. And then, let's see, I could divide both sides by x. That's going to make those go away and those go away. I'm going to get 3x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals negative 8x plus 8. And then I'm going to move these all to one side over here. So I would add 8x to both sides, and I would subtract 8 from both sides. So I'm going to get 3x squared plus 4x minus 4 equals 0. Now, this is going to have two solutions. I'm going to go ahead and factor this thing. See if I can factor it. I'm going to have a 3x here and x here. My choices are 1 and 4 and 2 and 2, so I need to make 4. Let's see, if I go 2 and 2, that would be 6 and 2, so that would be plus 6 minus 2. All right, and so that means that 3x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0, so x would equal negative 2, and x would equal 2/3. Okay, so I got two answers to this thing. It would be a good idea to take these two answers and plug them back in here to make sure that they work. Because occasionally you get an extraneous answer. Both of these answers happen to work, and I don't want to stretch this video out too long, so you can take my word for it on those two. Okay, so hopefully you can pull off a couple of these problems. I didn't give a whole lot in the assignment. So here's the assignment. You got some things to simplify, and then there's a couple here that you need to solve these two equations. The rest are just simplification. So have fun with that, and I will see you in class.